Hello everybody, my name is Arya, and today we're going to be creating a new character on D&D Beyond. First off, you want to click sign in on the top right. There's three ways to log in into a D&D Beyond account, which is with Google, Twitch, or creating an account with D&D Beyond. My favorite thing to do is using Twitch. It's the easiest way to do it, and it's the fastest, and it gets the job done. So I would recommend using Twitch. And if you don't have a Twitch, then use Google. Next, you want to go to top left under D&D Beyond, My Characters, and in the top right, click Create a Character. We're going to go to click on Show Help Text. This doesn't really matter, but it'll be helpful. And then click Standard. This is your character name. It's not very important unless you have an idea. Put it down here. If you can't think of one, don't worry about it. Randomize kind of helps you with your character names. It'll give you ideas. Leave everything normal here. Just remember to make sure this is public so I can see it. These are your races. What your races do is that they give you special stats and special abilities that make them very unique. For example, Dragonborn can breathe fire and flames, and Aarakocra can use their wings and their talons to attack. So, just look at these characters by clicking on them and kind of reading what they do. You can scroll down. You can see this is kind of describing what kind of character they are. Your ability score increases, tells you what ability scores, bonuses they get from that. Talons, flight, stuff like that. These are their special abilities, and these are their languages. So every character has languages, ages, alignments, and then they add their special abilities and their ability scores. And by special abilities, I mean they're basically traits like the dark vision of elves, all that kind of jazz. So let's see. I want to go simple. I'll pick an elf. I'll pick a high elf, and this whole story, yada yada. You can read it if you want. Just don't waste too much time on it if you don't want to. So if it says one choice on the bottom here under race, this is telling you should pick something. And if it doesn't have the kind of choices in it, it just kind of describes what your character can do. So keen senses, perception is stronger, dark vision, seeing in the dark, stuff like that. So you want to pick a cantrip. If you're playing an elf or a bard or any character, you can pick your cantrips. Just figure out what you would like. There's a lot of stuff here. Google's your best friend here. You can use D&D Beyond or Roll20 to look up stuff. Whatever. I'll pick Minotaur, for example. Like I said, pick whatever you like. But for this purpose of this video, I'm going to go really fast through all of this. So these are your classes. These are all the classes you can play. I'm just going to go briefly over them. Barbarians, very tanky. They have a lot of health. They're big dudes and they have axes or whatever weapons. They have huge weapons. And they just kind of charge into battle. Bards play instruments. They can use status effects really efficiently. And they can use their charisma to talk to monsters and enemies or people. Clerics heal the party, give them buffs. Druids are one with the nature. They can turn into animals and do all kinds of stuff. Fighters are the good front line, and they can hold shields, and they do a lot of good damage as well. They're very balanced, and they're very mixed overall. Monks are very spiritual and specialize in martial arts. Paladins are the healers and the tanks. They're a good mix between cleric and fighter. Rangers are the bow users, and they're very good in survival, and they know their way around places. Rogues assassinate enemies, and they kill people from the dark. Sorcerers can easily cast spells right from the palm of their hands. Warlocks are very religious, and that's how they cast their spells, is through their god. And wizards are kind of the mix between the two. It's easier than the warlock, but harder than the sorcerer. It's overall okay. They have a lot of spells, but not too many, and it still takes some time for them to cast spells. And whenever you decide on a class, I'll just pick anything. I'm gonna go with Barbarian, simply because it's so simple. If you're starting off, I would recommend playing something like Barbarian sorcerer or paladin, I would say. So your hit points is how much health you get for every time you level up. Of course, Constitution mod, it gives you more health. Proficiencies is basically whenever you're proficient in a skill, you're likely to do better in that skill whenever you use it. For example, intimidation. If I tell you to scare off an animal and you roll a 10, your proficiency will give a bonus to the bonus you already have, which will be like +2, and then it'll actually be like 13, and it'll be a lot better. And the higher the roll, the more likely you'll be successful in doing a skill. So of course you can look at all of this stuff. I recommend you read the player's manual to go over these, to go over the skills, to go over the classes, races, and all that kind of stuff. And these are your special abilities. Okay. Next, generation method. Go for a standard array. Pick your numbers, whatever you like. Note what your class is proficient in. For barbarians, it's obviously constitution and then strength. You can also put some points in dexterity if you feel like it. So, yeah. This is strength, constitution. Really just do whatever you feel like you think is good. I'll go over these real quick. Strength is how strong your character is when they can do strong, full force attacks. For example, tasks. That's what I'm trying to say. Stuff like lifting up heavy logs or breaking out a door. Dexterity is doing swift things and being athletic, or just being very nimble and acrobatic, like jumping over a pit. Constitution is how beefy you are. It constitutes how much health you have and how much bonus from health you get, and also surviving diseases and poison. Intelligence is how smart you are, how knowledgeable you are, how many things you know. Stuff like analyzing a lockpick to see if there's poison in there. Wisdom is just knowing your overall surroundings, like looking for secret doors. We'll use wisdom. Specifically, it'll be a certain skill, which you'll learn about later. And charisma is just how likable you are, and how well you can persuade people, convince people, and just use your charm to affect them. Stuff like intimidation or persuasion. So, this doesn't really matter to me. The rest of these don't matter to me. Since I'm playing barbarian and I want him to be very buff and thick and strong, I'll pick strength and constitution. Your modifiers make your rolls better. They'll add to the regular roll you have. If you roll a 10 for strength and your modifier is +2, it'll be 12 for that roll, and stuff like that. Background, it defines how your character is, and depending on which one you pick, you'll have different proficiencies in either skills or tools. It's not really important. They're all of them are good in their own ways, so pick whatever you feel like is good. So, if I pick Acolyte, they're very religious. You can read all these for yourself. You can also make custom backgrounds. I wouldn't recommend that. You can if you want to. It just means you'll have to do all of this manually. And also, it might be overtuned or undertuned. So, don't try and do it. So, just do this. Pick your languages. Just know what these do. Don't worry about alignment. Faith is whoever you worship. Lifestyle changes the way you spend money. Different things will cost different, and you'll have more money to start off with in the game. But if you're an aristocrat, I believe there's a couple downsides. Like you can see here, the greater chance of you drawing a political intrigue as a pawn and a participant, so you'll be caught up in stuff. So your life will be harder. These are physical traits. I recommend putting some effort into these. These are kind of important. Personality characteristics, these are not important. If you want to add traits, want to pick one, you can. It's not that important for me. Notes, these are all unimportant. You can write these in yourself. just kind of write this stuff in. Who do you belong with? Just know who your character is, what they're doing, why they're here, what's their purpose, what's motivating them, stuff like that. Starting equipment. You want to choose equipment. Don't worry about this. This isn't important. Just pick equipment. Pick what kind of weapons you want. Martial melee weapons, or martial weapons in general, are like heavier weapons that are more hard to use, and simple weapons are obviously easier to use. So a martial melee weapon would be like a giant great axe, while a simple weapon would be a short sword. So, anyways, just kind of pick whatever you like. You can look up what these do. A lot of it might not be that important, especially for a current campaign. Just pick whatever you like. And want to make sure you click add starting equipment when you're finished, because if you do not, it won't register it. And that is it. Click on view character sheet and you have your character. Look over here. One more thing is you want to make sure to equip your weapons. So just equip all of these. Make sure you just have these handy. The only downside to equipping all of these is that it'll make you heavier. I'm not gonna make you suffer for equipping more stuff. So go ahead and do it. It's not that big of a deal. I won't do anything. So if you don't equip these, then you won't be able to attack, or you won't be able to have your armor on, or you won't have any shields on. Equip your shields by clicking these squares. Equip your shields, equip your armors, your weapons. Whatever you can click on, try to equip it, unless you don't need to. And then, yada yada. You can see your spells, equipment, features, and traits. These are your traits that you have. Descriptions, which kind of tells you who your character is. Notes right in that stuff. And extras is just random stuff. You can also, if it helps you out, you can click on your features and traits to mark down the fact that you've used, for example, a spell or one of your special things that you can only use. For example, it says you can only get 2 for every long rest. So if you use one, you can just click on your character sheet right there, and then it'll keep track of it for you. I've been talking for too long. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just send me a message and I'll look for it. Thank you for watching.